It's touchdown, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode. Touchdown, man, we back on road. Spending money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode.
Man, I got my dog, man, my brother. Man, you know we go way back. His name is Fred Williams, but y'all all know him as Bon. Man, I appreciate you, man, coming to the Barcode podcast, man. The guy that I have on my screen right now, man, he's a 2006 South Division high school alumni. He's a St. Cloud State, University of St. Cloud State alumni. He's a former NFL pro for the Kansas City Chiefs and arena football and IFL. That's the same thing, right?
CFL, IFL, y'all players and all.
Okay, same thing, man. I got my brother, like I told y'all, Bon, man. Thank you for coming to the Barcode podcast, man.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Blessings, man. Appreciate what you're doing for the community, and I appreciate you giving our flowers to the Milwaukee natives, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Now, before I ask you, well, this is technically a question, but before I get into the real deal, where did the name Bon come from?
Man, that's crazy. My father gave me that name. I was actually a little chubby kid, and he said, I guess I must have reminded him of his little favorite candy, which happened to be Bon. So he named me Bon, and it just stuck with me as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to know me, man, like to really know that, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody else, from as an adult, know me as Fred, my first name.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. So we gonna get to that, but that's crazy because when people say Fred Williams, of course I know who it is, but it kind of throw me off. Like, you talking about Bon? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's some childhood stuff. But man, before we get into the football, I gotta shine a little light on this, dude, because a lot of people don't know this, man. You played basketball, man, and I remember you playing for the Hurricanes. I believe it was the Hurricanes, right? And y'all went to nationals and you started center. I was gonna say power forward, but you started center, bro. At 6 feet, 6'1". How tall are you, Baba?
I'm 6'1".
6'1". And I had to shine a light on that, man, because you was very athletic, you was a workhorse, and you was very undersized, and you held it down in the AAU tournament, going national, playing some big names, man.
Man, that was just the spirit, the Hurricane Milwaukee spirit that we all had, man, because our team was undersized, period. You know what I'm saying, going into the tournament. But we just had that Milwaukee dog in us, man, and we knew who we had to represent. We had Milwaukee on our back, so we did our thing, man. Like, yeah, certain like two games I started at center, but I really originally started at power forward.
Yeah.
Originally started at power forward, but a couple of games I had to start at center, man. Like, during that time I was, training for football. So, I can bang with 6'8", 6'9" niggas, man, hold it down.
Yeah.
And then I'm strong too, so
Yeah.
it worked to my advantage.
Yeah, most definitely, dog. Hey, looking at you right now, you still an ox, man. Damn. Yeah. So now I'm getting to the football. What made you start playing football? Who was that? Who was that person that influenced you to put that football in your hand and start playing football?
I would have to say my big brother. My big brother, he kind of set the blueprint for me growing up. You know what I mean? He played every sport, but football was his standout sport. So wherever he was good in, that's what I chose to be good in. But I just I ended up being taller once I got taller than my brother. Then that's when I just was like, I'm gonna start playing every sport. You know what I mean? basketball was just like something I was just good at. Like it was because of y'all is the reason why I chose football. You big tall ass motherfuckers, man. Then our class, we had too many good basketball people. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, if I want to make it to the league, I ain't 6'5" or nothing like that. I can play as a guard, but it's so many people my size that's good in basketball here. So I'm like, I'm just going ahead see what this football thing do.
Yeah, yeah. And man, listen, that's crazy that you said I was big. I'm 6'3", and of course back then that was tall as hell. But looking at the generation now, like 6'3" is the average guard height, of course, but they still
Right.
look small. But now we've been getting point guards 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", and stuff. So yeah. So so when you decided, man, you know what? I'm gonna take football serious. I know you were playing in a lot of leagues, before high school. What were some of them leagues you played in? Because I remember the Gauchos and like King Center. What was the team that you was playing with?
Oh, how I polished my talent and got better. I played in the Baby Red Cat League from fifth grade all the way up to eighth grade. I played in that league, and I had some really really good coaches, really just teaching me like the mechanics of the game. And then like I said, I had my brother. I was around football all the time. I went to his practices, went to his games, and I just applied the stuff that I used to see in my brother's practice, and do it in my own practice. At the time, Michael Bennett was at Tech. My
Mm.
brother played with Michael Bennett, so yeah, it was crazy. The lifestyle and the atmosphere of football, as you know, was like big during that time in the
Mm.
'90s, in the late '90s. So yeah, man, the Baby Red Cat League was the league that really helped me. I played in the King Center League, but it was, as you know, it wasn't ran right. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't teaching you the mechanics. It was based on really if you can play or not, just winning. They didn't really care about teaching the kid. So, but the Baby Red Cat League really, really did. It taught
Mm.
me a lot of discipline.
Okay. And during that time that you was playing in that Baby Red Cat League, what position was you playing?
Man, my first year, I fell in love with a receiver. I want to say in sixth grade.
Okay.
My fifth grade year, I kind of bounced around at running back. I played running back, and then my seventh grade year, I played running back and quarterback, and I just didn't like it. And then sixth grade year, that's when I really figured out that I could catch the ball. In eighth grade year, that's when I really focused on just being a receiver and like a return specialist.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So once you found your identity, what what made you choose South Division High School?
Man, South Division chose me. I ain't choosing no goddamn South Division. What everybody think about going to South Division where we was at, bro? To be honest, man, South Division was like my third choice. I really wanted to go to Tech or Vincent. Tech, obviously, because my brother went there. Vincent, because the nature was good. It was a great school. And then South Division was just a pick because I ain't had no third school that I really wanted to go to. I kind of figured I was either gonna go to Tech or Vincent. And then Vincent put me on the wait list, and then Tech. I don't know why I ain't getting Tech. Tech put me on the wait list too, so I ended up getting accepted to South.
Wow. So that's how that happened. You come to Vincent, dog. Come on, man. You,
Man,
Livy, Nick,
oh my
AB.
goodness. Oh man, I think about it all the time, man. If I would have went anywhere else other than South, Vincent was definitely on the list for me to transfer. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I almost went to Vincent. I almost went to Vincent. Um, my sophomore year, I was going to transfer to Vincent. I told the head coach out of respect, and he kind of just convinced me to stay. Like he promised me all this. the stuff that he was gonna do as far as getting me a quarterback, making sure that he invested time in sending me to camps, and he fell through. Like I had 4 different quarterbacks in high school, but as a receiver, I went to all these different camps and really got my name out there. And he based the whole offense really around me. So it just ended up working out, me staying in the South.
Yeah, yeah. So going into South, did you start your freshman year? Did you start all 4 years on varsity wide receiver?
Yep. Started all 4 years in basketball and football.
Okay. Yeah.
And ran
So
track too.
yeah, man. Listen, I was gonna bring up all them sports, dog. You just did it all, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going into that football season, and you wasn't really happy with your quarterback. How did you stay focused? And I asked that because you wanted to transfer after your sophomore year, but how did you stay focused your freshman year knowing that your quarterback wasn't so good?
Well, I knew going to South I couldn't expect really too much. I had to make the best of every opportunity if I was going to decide to be there. Um, I just really looked at it like, man, I can't make no excuses. Like I chose to be here. If I want to be that nigga, like I gotta be that dude with whoever I got. Like I'm gonna be a dog with whoever I got. So that's the mindset that I had my whole entire time at South Division.
Yeah, and that's the leadership, that some programs need. Well, all programs need, and you thugged it out. Stayed there, as a strong leader that you are, and you figure it out. Who were some of the big teams and games? Well, before I ask that, who was on your team at South who was like, good, basically?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. My first 2 years was like the best teams that we had. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Before you know how the city they switched divisions. They had broke the city. They just fucked up everything. But we had really really good skill players. My first 2 years, we had Liddell White at running back, and he played the opposite side of the corner on defense with me. Um, we always had really good running backs. We had 3 really good running backs. One was my little Mexican homie. We got the same birthday, Mario Lopez. Then we had 2 brothers. One was Derek Washington, and then we had this African dude named Sakisi.
I like
They
that.
was really, yeah, they was some solid running backs, and then we had some really good old linemen. We had Big Geo, and then we had my first 2 year we had Anthony Pena. He was our quarterback. He was really good in baseball.
Mhm.
And then he was smart too. He had a really good IQ. Um, yeah, like we had some solid we had solid interior my first 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed like them first 2 years you played at South that you played like multiple positions, like offense, defense. Was you like corner, safety, offense? You was wide receiver. What all positions you played when you was at South?
And my first 2 years, it was actually a little easier for me to like kind of focus on playing receiver and corner. So my first 2 years, I played receiver, corner, and safety.
Okay.
And then junior, senior year, because we had our team was a little older. Like we had a lot of seniors that were good. My freshman year.
Okay,
So
got
junior, senior, I played damn near every fucking position, bro. I played D line, D end. I played linebacker, strong safety. I got down kicker, punter. I was everything.
you. So we talk about the
Shit,
definition of putting team on his back.
man. Yeah, bro. I had to play every position. I had to learn every skill position, but it helped me as far as understanding the game, helped
Mm.
me IQ wise, and just skill wise, like just understanding the game. Like it really helped me just learning those different positions.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So in them 4 years that you was at South, did y'all have like a chance? Well, how was y'all state run? Did y'all have a chance to go upstate, like a real good chance?
My sophomore year, we had one. That was the only chance we had, man. Tech beat us in sectionals. They beat us. They just, they just had more experience, more playoff experience at the time than us. But as far as talent wise, we definitely had the talent to beat them. We just wasn't. We was young. We were young.
Yeah, y'all
Uh,
was just young. Hmm.
yeah.
What now with the team that you were working with, who was some of the because the city conference, man, we had some dogs. You feel what I'm saying? So who were some of the teams and players that you had to go up against where you just like, I gotta give it my all, man, because they coming with it, you know.
Man, of course, your alumni, Benson, man, like y'all always, you can just look at the history. Y'all was really respected, and y'all deserve all the respect that y'all have. Like y'all just bred talent. You know what I mean? So my years, Greg Bracey, oh my God, like the most talented athlete I ever seen in my life, like in person. You know what I mean? I had a chance to play against him my sophomore year, and I did a really good job. You know what I mean? Like that's when I knew I could play with the big dogs. That's when I knew I had to play against y'all.
Mm.
Because prior to then, I'm like, dude, I need to go to one of these big schools. I need to go to Vincent. But I'm like, dude, if I go to Vincent, that shit gonna be way too easy. I want to play against you, Cash. You know what I mean? So that's how I started looking at it. And when we played y'all my sophomore year, and we kind of contained Bracy. We ain't stop him because can't nobody stop Bracy. We contained Bracy to about 5 catches to like 50 yards,
Mm.
and I got my shit off on Bracy too because he held me. I ain't gonna front. I did. I got my shit off as a sophomore. I had 5 catches for 75 yards and I had 2 touchdowns. One of them was on Bracy, and he was
Yeah.
he knew who I was, man. He respected me. He started talking to me in the game, but you know me at the time, my pride going. I'm like, nigga, don't talk to me right now, nigga. I just bust your ass, nigga. Don't talk to me. I just bust your ass. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Let me get my shit off. I'm only a sophomore, and he helped me. That game helped me put me on the radar because at that time, Illinois was at the game for Bracy. Bracy had all these Big Ten schools there for him. So I just used that, and that just kind of put me on the radar. So salute to Bracy and Vincent, man, for helping your boy.
Hey, big time, dude. And it's crazy that you bring up Bracy, man, because what he was about, wasn't he about my height, like 6'3" or 6'4", something like
Yeah, yep,
wide
6'3".
receiver.
Yep.
Dude was fast as hell, dog. And y'all contained him. That's a great job, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
we help a lot of teams give y'all that year a tough time after that because before y'all played us, then nobody want to touch y'all. Like niggas was scared to touch y'all players. Like we figured like shit, we go in and just rough y'all ass up a little bit. We could slow y'all down a little bit,
it's
and it worked. You know what I'm saying? We still lost, but we gave y'all a run for the
mm,
money. You know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's what it's all about, competing. Y'all was competing. So, plus, Bamba, you was the captain, you was the leader, bro. And you know where we from. We ain't backing down. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, had to, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so your junior senior year, what all awards was you getting? I know you were getting I know you had to be getting like first team, all state or conference, all that type of stuff.
Man, junior year, well, I was getting all conference. I made first team all conference as a freshman. So all conference, I was getting that every year. I ain't make all state till my senior year, and I made second team, which I should have made first when I led the city in touchdown and catches and yards my senior year.
Now, do you think you got a lot of backlash? Well, you think you got penalized for that because you went to South Division?
Absolutely, our record was terrible. Our record was terrible. That's why. But if you look at the teams, the good teams that we played, I had my way. You know what I mean? So you can't take that away from me. It ain't my fault that our record didn't show, but the talent is there. You know what I mean? And if it weren't for who was the coach at Bayview?
Excuse me.
But the coach from Bayview ended up making the All-Star, one of the coaches for the All-Star game our senior year. And he was the main reason why we had, I think we had the most city kids make the All-Star team my senior year.
Yeah.
Because of him. That year we had I want to say 10 city kids made the Shrine game.
Wow. And where's this
Griffin was the coach. He was one of the All-Star coaches, so he helped us get in. The city kids get in.
Yeah, now where's this All-Star game? Like, where is it at? Like, is it
the Shrine game is was at the University of Oshkosh.
And it was played on Mayfield at the university, right?
The University of Oshkosh, and it's all the kids who made all state from all over the state. And it's an East team and a West team.
What you do in that game?
Man, I did my thing. I had a 40-yard kick return. I had a fade touchdown. I didn't really play too much because I made all state on special teams and receiver. So I had to play both. And you know what how that game is, they want everybody to get their looks. So
yeah,
you know, I did what I was supposed to do. I had an okay game.
Okay. Now playing in that game, of course, that's after your season for football, right? Like, is it after we graduate or is it after the football season?
It's after we graduated. The Shrine game was in June, I believe, like the end of June, and at the time we graduated at the beginning of June.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask that. So with it being after school, you wasn't like how well, first of all, how competitive is the game? Are they still trying to hit you hard, or is just kind of like going through the motion? Because I'm pretty sure most players was kind of scared to playing that, you know what I'm saying, afraid of getting hurt or hurting their chances, going to college.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely competitive. For me, it was competitive to me because I felt like I had to represent for the city. You know what I mean? Like some of them, those suburban teams, some of them took plays off, but I didn't. So I kind of set the tone on our team. So we all the city kids did. Like, you know what I'm saying? We felt like we had to really represent. And we did. Like the East, we destroyed the West. Like everybody and everybody from the city had a highlight. So
yeah, I bet you that was dope. That was fun playing with some guys, from the city that you played against in the conference. And, now, you're on the same team and y'all getting highlights and showboating. No,
right.
Exactly. So your senior year, what all teams were offering you?
I actually was offered my junior year from Michigan State. I had a scholarship, a partial scholarship, but the coaching staff, after my junior year, the whole coaching staff that brought me in, they ended up getting fired from Michigan State. So I ended up losing my scholarship to go to Michigan State. I had an offer from Wisconsin, full ride, but they wanted me to play D-back, and that was not a part of the agreement. I wasn't finna do that. I had an offer from Indiana. I had an offer from Northern Illinois. Ball State. I had a partial from Tennessee. Uh, yeah, those were the schools that I chose. But I only went to visit, and then St. Cloud wasn't even on the radar. Like St. Cloud, the coach really came and got me and took me to that school because I wasn't even planning on going D2. I didn't even know there was a D2. I only heard of D1 and D3, to be
Yeah.
honest. So St. Cloud was like after all the because I took 3 visits. You know, you only get 3 official visits. I went to Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Ball State because those were the main 3 that was like messing with me tough. So I wanted to go. I did the verbal to Michigan State, and then the coaching staff got fired, and then I tried to see what Wisconsin was talking about, but they weren't budging about the D-back shit. So I was like, I don't want to play D-back. So then Ball State, they ended up giving my scholarship to another receiver from Racine Park.
Okay.
They gave my scholarship to him, and then St. Cloud State was like the only school that was really trying to offer me.
Wow. So hold on. That's how St. Cloud State came about. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So you signed with St. Cloud State. When you go out there, are you in your head? Are you like, what's your mindset? And I'm asking that because it's like, dude, I just had Michigan State. I just had Ball State. I just had Wisconsin. We all know how good Wisconsin was, like, you know, around 06 and stuff. So what's your mindset going into Division II, you know, football? Like, what's going through your head?
This the catch. This the catch. I never thought about going Division II, but this how St. Cloud got me. St. Cloud was supposed to go up to D1 AA after my red shirt year. So that's how they originally got me. I'm like, okay, y'all moving up because St. Cloud, I ain't even know. I ain't even remind you, I ain't hear nothing about St. Cloud. St. Cloud was a powerhouse D2. So they was one of like 5 selected schools elected to even have that option to go up. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, St. Cloud. He started telling me about it, showed me some highlights that the receiver coach came to one of my games. I was hooping the Marshall game. We played Marshall. He came down, watched the game, waited till after the game, took me to St. Cloud, paid for my hotel, paid for this A1 treatment. That's how bad he wanted me to go there. Because it's crazy. Let me rewind a little bit. I take that back. I heard of St. Cloud at the Wisconsin camp. I went to the Wisconsin camp, and that's how I met the St. Cloud State coach. That's how I heard about Division II.
Wow. So you hear that, but when you talking to them, they like, hey, you come to St. Cloud State, we about to go Division I in like a year.
Yeah, gas and juicing me up and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. But to remind you, I'm like, it's really going in one year after the other. So I'm like, man, I ain't thinking about no motherfucker D2, nigga. I'm going D1. You see my talent. You know where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, just take my card in case, just in case. So I ended up taking that motherfucker. Going there.
Yeah. So going into your freshman year at St. Cloud State, did you redshirt?
I did because I didn't feel academically confident in my skills.
Okay.
So skill wise, I had the skill to play as a true freshman, but personal reason I wanted to learn how to be a student because I didn't learn. I learned late in high school how to be a student. So I wanted to really, really take this time and learn how to be a student. I didn't want to be one of those Milwaukee cats who flunked out of school.
Yeah, exactly. So your red shirt year, and we know, of course, you know, going to a university and how big St. Cloud State is. How were you able to juggle both of those? And what did you learn from that?
Well, I could take you back to my mindset at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really grateful that I didn't go to a big school. Just far as the responsibilities and academically, I realized that I learn better in smaller environments, smaller schools, smaller settings. And I don't think I would have got the time that I needed going to a bigger school. So I'm definitely grateful, but I definitely learned. Well, I wanted to go to a place where there wasn't going to be too many distractions.
Yeah.
And St. Cloud was a 90%, like a 90% predominantly white school.
Yeah.
And so I never really been social around white people. So I knew I wasn't gonna have to worry about any other distractions. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have went to school down south or went to these big schools and seen how them women is down there, boy, I tell you, I'd have
Yeah.
been focused on other shit.
I think
Focused on
we
other
all would
shit.
have, especially me.
Yeah, yeah. So I went to St. Cloud. I'm happy I went to St. Cloud because I could focus. I ain't really attracted to, no offense, white women. So I was able to focus on the things that I needed to focus on. And then at the time, Kobe had that case. So, he kind of traumatized a lot of African American boys dealing
Yes.
with white people at the time.
Man, listen, them are all facts, bro. Listen, you had me
So,
terrified of Minnesota, man. Well,
yeah.
yeah,
So
so
I was on my P's and Q's out there. I
oh,
definitely learned social justice. I learned the difference between, I learned how to be more social dealing with um the people out there in Minnesota.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, you was taking that red shirt year to really be not just an athlete, to be a student athlete. And for you to go out there in the environment that we from, that you from, like, bro, like you really stayed focused around that time, man. Cause most people go, far out, and with St. Cloud State was what, about 8.5, 9 hours away?
It's about six
Oh, okay.
hours. Yeah,
Okay, about six,
about
7.
six.
But for you to
Yeah.
just stay focused, man, and have that mindset, your red shirt here, you got to be strong minded to do that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the football side, what did you do to prepare? Like what was your training like? That red shirt year, going into your sophomore year.
Oh man, first let me get honor to God, man, because He kept me through that whole time, that whole process. His grace is why I made it. Like He gave me the strength, the discipline, really to just really be blessed around good mentors. Like going into St. Cloud, I was blessed around good mentors. Like my high school coach, he had an NFL background. He made practice squad for the Packers in the '80s, and he was like a gym rat. So I just really just grabbed on to him and just like a sponge and just took everything that he knew and I just applied it to myself. Like I feel like if I was gonna make it, I had to do everything in my power with no excuses. Like I used to go work out on my own by myself all the time. Like go to the King Center or I'll walk to the lake or jog to the lake. Like I did all of that. I'll go to the park, to the field and just shadow run, work on my routes. Like
Mm,
all of that little stuff, at the time and the internet wasn't really that big, that accessible. At the time, we ain't had phones and shit like that. We had,
yeah,
flip phones and shit. So I couldn't watch the videos like they can now. Like right now, they got so much access to so much shit. You know what I mean? I had to go wait till I get to school, watch the videos, you know what I'm saying, the internet and being around like that. So I just really just became a student of everything that I did, man. Like student of my academics, a student to how to be a better football player, a student to how to be a better friend, a better leader, you know what I'm saying, a better brother. All of that stuff I just really just had pride and made sure that I had a relationship with God.
mm-hmm. Yeah, all glory to God, man. And we all know that you had a mentor, coming up and everything. But how was your relationship with the coaching staff and some of the players at St. Cloud State?
Man, I had to learn how to be a man
Mm,
at St. Cloud. Like they they really really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like they really didn't care about people my color. And the type of relationship I really learned how to be professional going did with the relationship I had with my coaches because they I had to fight for my scholarship. You know what I mean? I had to fight to do things to better me as a player because they was threatening me to take things away. They was just treating me like I was disposable. So they really showed me how to be professional. You know what I'm saying? Like I really it wasn't like no mentor. It wasn't a relationship I had with the coaches. I had more of a relationship with the players than I did with the coaches in college. Now when I went pro, that was different. It was
yeah.
different when I went pro.
Now, man, Bon, that's some deep stuff to say, man. And I know when we all go to these colleges, and we usually don't have like the best relationship with the coaching staff, but they be decent, and you stay focused. And I always tell people this, Bon, especially these young kids, because I coach. I tell them, when you sign on that dotted line to go to someone's school, their university, and your schooling is paid for, it is a job. That's what I tell them. But after hearing what you said, it's a business. It's a business, man. And for you not to break, to lose focus, in school and on the field, it says a lot about your character, man. Because you know how many people will break, can break from that situation, man. I'll take this from you. I do this, I do that, and you stay focused. So the most important thing was you keeping that, relationship with that, with the players that you played with, man. And Jesus, man, my hat goes off to you, dog. So for real. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, for sure. So you have your red shirt year, and now you going into now when you have a red shirt year. Now I asked somebody else this. I don't know why. Like I don't know this. I just got to refresh my brain. When you had that red shirt year, that first season, is that you being a freshman on the foot playing football? Was that your freshman year playing football?
Where academically, um, it's basically saying that you won't lose no years eligibility wise, playing wise. So
Okay.
academically, um, I was a freshman. Well, I really a sophomore.
That's sophomore.
Academically, I'm a sophomore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then football terms, it's my first year playing because
Okay.
I didn't play my first year of college.
Got you. Yeah, and even though you set out that year, your first real season, was that still considered your true freshman year?
I'm not considered a true freshman. A true freshman is a true freshman. You playing that year. But since I ain't played until my sophomore year, it's a red shirt freshman.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So going into your first season at St. Cloud State, how was that for you? Like, cause you were starting a wide receiver, right? You were just doing wide receiver, or you doing multiple positions there too?
Yeah, I went in as a receiver and a return specialist. But I had my Milwaukee moment going into my freshman year, man. I didn't fell for the trap, man. Was hanging around the wrong person. and I ended up getting to a fight at school. I ended up going to jail for this stuff. Getting the ticket and everything. Bro, my life flashed before my eyes. That shit humbled me so bad, so much doing that. But yeah, I got into a fight, got into some trouble, so I ended up missing the first half of the first game because I really got in trouble because of partner of who I was with.
Oh, okay.
But if I would have did it, I would have missed the first 3 games. So my red shirt freshman year, I missed the first half of I think I did. I missed the first 2 games of the season.
Okay.
And I got to play the third game, the second half. And
Wow.
that so happened to be against the University of Whitewater. Powerhouse D3.
Yeah, powerhouse. Was that the name on that team, dog? Tony Shumpert?
Yeah, Tony was on the team, and then they had this stud ass running back, Justin. I think his name was Beaver. He was the number 1 running back in D3 for his last 2 years. Funky ass white boy, cold. Cold. He hit us, bro, for like 175, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
How many carries?
I want to say like 20. He was one of them little shifty white boys, just shifty,
Yeah.
cold,
Mm-hmm.
cold. But we we bust their ass though.
Yeah. So
all of that was in the first half.
okay, I was about to say. So you played the second half, though. What was your stat line? Your first collegiate game? Half a game.
Man, my first half a game, man, my first catch was a one-hander on the sideline for like 20 yards. I ended the game. I think I had like 5 catches for like 60 yards and a touchdown.
Against Whitewater too. Whitewater was good, but y'all was good too, though. Nah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we always was ranked in Division II. Like the school, St. Cloud, we was always ranked all my years that we played.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the time, we played in the toughest Division II conference in the nation.
I
So
tell people that all the time, Bamba. They don't understand
yeah,
how that conference is basketball and football. Y'all had a lot of dudes go to the NFL from that conference, bro.
yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
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 We
So
had I mean to cut you off.
no, you good.
We had a player, one of my teammates, my junior year. He had made it to the league. He was a D lineman named Ryan Keys. He made it with the Detroit Lions.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
What
did the
year?
same shit I did, practice squad,
Oh, come on,
first two
Bamba.
years.
We're gonna get to that, man. Chill.
My bad, my
No,
bad.
you good. That was the same shit I did. No, but so your sophomore season, not sophomore season, it's your sophomore year in school, but your first year playing, was you proud of what you did? You know, especially after sitting out a full season, getting your body right, getting your mind right, as far as schooling and stuff. Was you pretty proud of your season that you had your first year playing?
I was proud. Yeah, I was proud of myself academically. I skill wise as a football player, I felt like I could have played as a true freshman. To be honest, like that shit used to eat me up on the sideline because it's like people wasn't making plays like I was making. You know what I mean? Like I just knew they didn't have it in him. I know they didn't. So I'm like, I'm gonna just take this time and really learn the system, learn how to be a student, and just get better. And then when it's my time, I'm just gonna take advantage. Like like I said, I played the second half and I didn't start my first game. By the third game of my redshirt year, I was starting. And we had all senior receivers on our team.
Wow. So you get inserted in the starting lineup, Bon. How are you feeling like when these seniors gone, this is my team? Or did you feel like it was your team then?
Going into it, I just knew me going to St. Cloud State. I gotta be an animal. If I want to go to the league, I gotta be a fucking animal, and they gotta know this out the gate. They gotta know this. Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna learn whatever I need to learn, but I'm letting you know I'm the coldest nigga out here. When
Mm-hmm.
it comes to my position, I'm an animal. Put anybody in front of me, guarantee you I'm a have my way with it. Guarantee. And I just worked. I did it day in, day out. I didn't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I put the work in. I was the first one in practice, the last one to leave every day.
Yeah. And I just interviewed AD probably a couple weeks ago. And
Rival, the rival.
yeah. He actually brought up a story. And he brought you your name. He brought up you, Bamba. And he like the way he explained, like, oh man, he said Fred, but he's like, man, he kicked our ass. He made us look stupid. He made us look sick. He caught this many passes. He had this many yards. He just shattered our, whole, just shattered their dreams. You feel what I'm saying? So that was the next thing I was gonna ask. So now you inserted in the starting lineup. These seniors is bumped out. Who were some of the tough teams that you were playing against and some of the tough covers? You feel like you had some tough ass people covering you, or it was sweet because you was D2?
I mean, it was tough. I still had to play the game. I still had to go out there and make those plays. So with me being like the number one target, like it made it harder for me because teams had to game plan around me. You know what I mean? But when you got a good offensive coordinator and you got good coaches who believe in you, they find ways to get you the ball. You know what I mean? They find ways to get you the ball. But some of the tough teams that I had struggled with was South Dakota, University of South Dakota, University of North Dakota, and powerhouse University of Duluth.
Mm,
Um, then our rivals, Minnesota State, Minnesota Mankato. Um, those were like the when we switched because we ended up switching conferences. Like we was in the Northern Sun my first 2 years, the most toughest conference. Um, but those first 2 years, Western Missouri were super good. Uh, Central State in Ohio,
yeah.
they was really good. Newberry in Jersey, they was pretty good. Like we played a lot of good motherfuckers, man, my first 2 years. And we was good. North Dakota was good, always been good.
Yeah.
University of North Dakota State, uh, University of Maine. It was pretty tough. But everybody in our conference, like Concordia,
Come on, man. Don't bring up my
when
school, dog.
we everybody in our conference when we moved into the Northern Sun in the collected, wherever that shit called. Um, I murdered everybody in our conference. Like I had them there 150 yards at half against everybody in our conference. Like I really did what I was supposed to do my senior year. I just went crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, it's funny, dog. We talk about Concordia St. Paul, dog. Like no cap, Bob. When y'all played us at our place, y'all that game was the first football game I went to, and you know schools just always love like the football teams. High school, college, they just
Yeah,
love the football team for whatever reason, whatever. But I just remember walking to the game, dog, and they was just like, "Oh my God, dude, we about to beat St. Cloud State." I'm like, man, my boy Bon play, he about to kick that. Man, listen, Bon, you fucked us up. Y'all blew us out, bro. I think I
I
wanted
went
to
crazy
beat.
that game.
Huh? You said
I
what?
went crazy that
Yeah,
game.
you went crazy. I remember that game, bro. Like, bro, it was so bad. I couldn't even wait to fucking, after the game and chop it up with you. I'm like,
I think I remember that now. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, he was out of here, bro. Y'all was busting our ass too much, bro.
yeah,
I
I'm
got
like,
up out of here.
yeah, I'm like, Bon, man, you done took everybody's soul in the stadium. I'm like, man, I'm gone. And oh man, I never told you this either, Bon. You and Michael Riley, dog, y'all was the main reason that I signed with St. Cloud State before signing with Concordia St. Paul. But y'all was the reason why I signed. Now I don't know, Bum. You might remember this, dog, but remember when they signed me? And it was like me, you, and a couple basketball players with the kick it. I didn't sign that night though. But after that
I know.
night,
Yeah, yeah.
I signed the next night. I mean the next day, like, yeah, let me come here, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's one decision that I made in my life. Not going to St. Cloud State. That was a decision, dog, that stuck with me for a long time, and it bothered me, man, because I just felt like that school would have been the perfect school for me, when it came to basketball. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I could have went to the NBA, but I think I could have really, really got paid to play basketball had I stayed at St. Cloud State, man. No knock to my Concordia St. Paul dudes, man. Y'all my bros for life, dog. But
Man, listen.
yeah, I just want to let you
You
know
said
that,
it
though.
right.
Yeah.
You said it right. I was I was hurt. I ain't gonna front. I was hurt because I ain't had nobody out there with me. Like my first 2 years, I ain't had nobody out there with me. So once I found out Mike was coming, then I found out you was coming. I'm like, yes, I got somebody from the crib. I got my brother with me. So I'm really locked in. I was already locked in, but just having y'all, just knowing y'all know where I'm coming from, y'all know where we come from, y'all know how it is. Like, so I know you gonna respect the grind, and I know y'all gonna really love me, give me that love that I need. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really mess with nobody out there in Minnesota. Like, I don't really know these people like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't rock with them like that. So when Shaw came out there, when she came out there, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna show my brother I got you because this is my city. I got you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then, your ass left. I'm like, damn,
Hurt me, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
damn,
Dog, it
yeah.
hurt me, dog. Oh, and I remember playing against y'all. I played decent too, bro. And I just remember the head coach, man, shaking my hands like and whispered in my ear, "We still want you back, bro." Like transfer. He told me that after y'all them kicked our ass by 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be you. You supposed to be over there giving us but because they needed that dog. Like they had good players. Don't get me wrong, St. Cloud has some good players,
Yeah.
but they ain't had no dogs, bro. And that's what we needed. And you would have fit, bro. You man,
Damn.
we would have took over St. Cloud, bro. We was about to.
Dog, we was about to, dog. Oh
Shit.
man, listen, I'm sorry, bro. But it is your story, bro. No, but on some real stuff. Back to your story, your journey for real. I appreciate you for even letting me share that, little snippet of, us,
Absolutely.
St. Cloud, But 2010, what grade were you in 2010?
I was a senior.
Okay, you was a senior.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the reason I asked that, man, because man, I was watching your highlights, man, and reading up on your stats and stuff, and you got first team All American, first team All Conference. I want to say you had. Let me see. I gotta want to make sure I got the right numbers written down. Man, dude, listen. Like 1,900 yards. Okay, right here. 95 receptions. 1,600 plus yards and 18 touchdowns. Do that sound accurate? Because I feel like you have more than 18 touchdowns.
That sound about right. Coaches did that on purpose, man.
That was
Because
just senior year, though,
they,
right?
yeah, that was just senior year. I was on track to be, all time lead receiver in all categories. Like right now, I'm all time lead receiver in yards, catches. There's yards and catches.
What about
They ain't
reception?
want to in receptions.
Yeah.
They ain't want to let me get the touchdown record, and I was only like two short. They ain't want to let me. Certain games only played half a game. Like four games out of my senior year only played the first half. That's because we was busting, blowing motherfuckers out. So if I would have got to play a whole game, I would have probably had over 2,000 yards my senior year and over 20 plus touchdowns.
Before I ask you how did that make you feel, you still wind up leaving the school with 3,800 plus yards. I think that was the 264 receptions. That's still like nobody broke that record. Nobody went over 3,800 yards yet, or no? Or you still hold that record?
Man, it's unfortunately they got rid of the football program, but yeah, I don't think nobody gonna come close to that record for a nice while. And that's if they introduce the football program
They
again.
got rid
Right
of
now,
St. Cloud State football pro. What year was this?
this is like I want to say like 3 years ago they got rid of the program.
Was it because of the enrollment? Did something happen or something? That sounds crazy.
Man, I don't even know, man. I'm thinking because the numbers or the conference, the presidents of the conference that they was in, they couldn't get the right numbers that they need. I don't know. I just
Oh,
know that St. Cloud is a hockey school anyway, so
yeah.
I just kind of figured they wanted to put more focus on that sport than football.
Yeah, they definitely a hockey school. But so did y'all have your 4 years being there? Did y'all have make any runs like for the tournament? Did y'all have any a good shot making it to the tournament?
Yeah, my sophomore year we lost in sectionals to South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And then my senior year, we we made it all the way to regionals. We lost to the national champs at the time, Duluth, to go to the championship game in regionals my senior year. We lost by a field goal. It's crazy. Like I had a phenomenal game. I got us all the way down to like I want to say like the 25. We had it was like a chip shot, like a 25-yard field goal, and our field goal he missed. Our kicker missed it
And this to go.
to the national championship game.
And this your senior year? This your senior year, Baba?
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. And what team was that against again?
University of Duluth.
Duluth. Duluth was a good football program.
Yeah, Minnesota Duluth.
So he misses that field goal, Bamba. And all the hard work that you put in since you walked into since you went to that school, what's going through your head? Like, dude, I'm not going to the national championship because my fucking kicker just missed the field goal. What's going through your head as a leader and all the hard work that you put in at that time?
I left it all on the field.
Mm.
I as soon as we lost, I immediately started thinking about training for the league. Did ass. I'm like, okay, I'm finna finish school, finna get my degree, and I need to get me an agent, and I'm going to train for the league. And that's exactly what I did. After the season, I graduated in December, so I can train for the at the time it was March combine, the draft.
And how did you train for that, man? Because I know that's like a big deal, man. Doing that. So what was you doing to get prepared for the combine?
Well, I was real cool with the strength and conditioning coach at the school, so I spent a lot of like personal time with him until I found the agent. I had to find an agent, but before I found the agent, I wanted to focus on school, get my degree, and I got my degree in psychology, minor in human relations. So I got that, graduated in December, um, went home, got with a trainer there at home. John, he got a he has a gym called Next Level out in Waukesha.
Okay.
So I was training out there for a little bit on my own before I found my agent. Agent flew in from Atlanta, T&J Sports Agency. His name is Timothy Jackson. He was an upcoming black agent. I wanted a black agent, just for the simple fact I wanted to be supported by Archive. Um, and then he was more trying to really, he was more family oriented, and he had a good relationship with God. I had two other agents that I had interviewed. Um, they were based. They were also small agency. They was based out of Orlando. One was based out of Orlando, and the other one was based in California. Um, they had too many clients. I felt like I would have got lost somewhere, and they they was big on percentages. Like they was cool with like helping me out, paying for my training, but they wanted that shit up front, like right away. And with my agent that I went with, he wasn't worried about that. He was just worried about getting me the exposure and then getting the rest on the back end. So yeah, he really, I went with Timothy T&J. Once I found my agent, he flew me out to these different training facilities. My first one I went to was in Atlanta. I trained with Dr. Gibson. He trained Cam Newton because we came out the same year. He was training Cam Newton, Ed Reed, Calvin Pace from the Jets. Who else? What's the receiver who passed away from Georgia Tech? I think it's Derek Thomas, D Thomas. I forgot his name.
No.
But yeah, I was out there with them, and I got to train with them for 6 weeks. Um, then my pro day. My pro day was a big reason why I didn't get drafted. I ended up missing my pro day because the lack of communication between the University of Wisconsin and my agent. I guess Wisconsin uh, scheduled their pro day the same day as the University of Minnesota. So with me going to school in Minnesota, my host is the University of Minnesota. So how I found out, my trainer told me to go down to the facility and check out the field before you go run on it the day before, so you can get used to the field. So I did that. I go down there and I'm seeing all these teams. I'm seeing people in the weight room getting measured. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Like, I thought the pro day ain't till tomorrow. And since I was projected to be a late fourth round pick, and Seattle was like heavy on me, and they wanted to see me run. That's all they wanted to see me. They wanted to see my 40 time because of my 40 time that I had clocked at the Cactus Bowl, which is the D2 All-Star game.
Okay.
It wasn't a good time. So that shit wasn't no good time at all. So he was telling me just, don't worry about it, just make it up on your pro day. So boom. He pulled me to the side like, dude, what's up, man? I'm here for you. I want to see you run. I'm like, I thought the pro day was tomorrow. Like, nah, we had to switch because we all going to the University of Wisconsin the next day. And I'm like, I'm not fucking mentally ready. I'm just not, I'm not ready. Like I'm not. So he was like, look, check this out. This is the scout from the Seattle Seahawks. Check this out. Try to get into the University of Wisconsin. They pro day and just come out tomorrow and run your 40 then. I'm like, cool, bet. Lance Kendrick, the tight end, played in the league. We real cool, we tight. So I hit him up. I'm like, dude, ask your coach, see if I can come to y'all pro day, because I miss mine here. Like, I guess they must have mixed up the days. You know what I'm saying? So I need to see if I can get in y'all pro day. He was like, cool, yeah, I can make that happen for you. Come on down here. So I tell my agent fly me to Madison. So it's the pro day. I'm going through the line, I'm going through the measurements. I get all the way down to my spandex to do the weigh-in. One of the coaches from Wisconsin pulled me to the side like, you can't do your pro day here. You out of your district. Crush my soul, bro.
Now, do you believe that happened because you didn't commit with them?
I think it had a little bit, maybe, but nah. I think it's because they didn't want me showing up they Wisconsin players. So they can, how Wisconsin, they only want to big up Wisconsin, their players. You know what I'm saying? They don't really allow too many other schools come to their pro day.
Yeah.
So I think that's what had a lot to do with. They didn't want me to show up nobody at their pro day. I know for sure I was gonna run a good time. Absolutely, because I had trained for it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's crazy because you said you was on the phone with Lance. His coach gave basically the green light. You go, and then you in your spandex, and they tell you can't.
Yeah, I guess the person who gave Lance the green light didn't get the okay from somebody over him.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's how that went down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the draft come. You were, like you said, you was projected to go fourth round, and that's pretty good in the NFL going fourth round, right?
But before we get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Before we get to that, the lockout happened, so it wasn't even no draft. It was they had like a preliminary mock draft. So it wasn't even like a typical draft. Like they only drafted, it was only like 3 rounds, and they only drafted like the top prospects.
So how many rounds is it? If it wasn't a lockout, how many rounds would it have been in the NFL?
Well, it's 7 rounds. So the 7th round is the last round. So for me to go in the 4th round, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Out of 7 rounds, you know what I mean? Like that's some guaranteed money. Like I got a strong possibility of getting some guaranteed money. the guaranteed money is really the first 2 rounds.
Not even
After the
third
first,
round?
hell no, hell no, hell no. It ain't, and it's really after the second round, the top 10 picks of the second round. Then after that, shit, you gotta work. It's fair game like everybody else, Bucko.
Yeah. So it chopped. So the lockout happened. It chopped from 7 to 3.
So
And
like 4 rounds,
yeah.
and but they said I still had a good chance of signing as a free agent with the team. So, but by then, the lockout really just messed me up, and then me missing my pro day really messed me up. So I had to take the long route in. I had to start going to these private workouts, and before I can even get into the NFL workouts, I had to do the smaller league workouts, like the CFL workouts and these arena workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to 3 arena tryouts before I made a team. And it's crazy because I made it out of 300 people. I made it all the way to always to the top 5 players, the last 5, always, all 3 camps.
Wow. 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 So I kind of want to go back to the pro day. Is there anyone that you blame why you didn't know that date and time? Is there anybody you blame?
Man, that's a great question, man. There's a lot. There's a lot that plays into that.
Because
My
you gotta think
father,
about it. Oh, go ahead, Bubba.
yeah, I thought about it a lot. Like I had a lot of time to think about it. Um, my father, my father blamed my agent. My people blame my agent. People will blame my agent, but I blame the school for the simple fact, like, my agent has been on top of everything prior to that. So I just don't see my agent not telling me that they switched the days. You get what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at my agent. You know what I mean? I can't. But I was upset at the school. I was upset at the school for the simple fact they could have told us. You know what I'm saying? They could have had some type of form, a way of communicating to my agent about that. Um, my agent did the best he could, like with the situation given to him, presented to him. He did the best he could.
Yeah. Oh man. Because that's tough. That's tough. And maybe had you told me this story, um, without telling me that he was a new up and coming agent and everything, I'll just put myself. Well, I can't put myself in them shoes, in that situation. But I do think about it, and it's just like if I'm a black agent, and I know I got a black client, like I'm making sure I'm on triple super duper on top of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So no knock to him. I just want to ask, if you blamed anyone. So going back into your workouts, you said you make it top 5. You know, you top 5 every time, all 3 workouts. What was the next steps after that? Because you didn't go right to the NFL. You wind up playing arena football, right?
And I ended up finally signing with a team, the San Jose SaberCats out in California. And at the time they were building the league back up because before the league, the AFL had folded, but the league was popping. You could make bread in the AFL. They was making six figures, but then the league had folded, and then it went down to five figures, five figures. So, but you get the exposure, you get the film that you need, and that's the mindset and the route that I took. I'm like, I got to get film, and I got to stay active, and I got to get paid. So,
Yeah,
arena, here I come.
yeah, exactly. So you go to arena and kill though, because you stay arena what, a year or two?
I did arena for
Or
3.
Three. It
I
was
did
three.
I did I did arena for 3. I would have played NFL Europe, but the league had folded because that was a upcoming league too that you can really make a nice living off of. But
Yeah.
around that time, like NFL Europe had folded, and then arena had came up. The arena league, the indoor football, they started coming up because Kurt Warner, he won a couple Stanley Cups and not Stanley Cups, but Arena Bowls.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow. So I know you just stated that, like the approach that you had going into the arena, but are you deep down inside like, bro, I really supposed to be in the fucking NFL right now?
that's my whole mindset going into arena. Like taking nothing away from arena, but that was my dream. My dream was the NFL. I just use this as a way to get into the NFL. Now I'm so grateful that I did arena because I learned how to be more of a professional. Um, my football IQ went up tremendously. Um, and it was a great experience. You know what I'm saying? Like it prepared me for the outdoor game.
Yeah, yeah. And arena football be cracking too, by the way. I went to arena football game before. So
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of people
so
sleep on it, man.
yeah, yeah. So
It's hard to play arena. People think it's easy. They can just come out there and play.
why you say
Uh,
it's hard?
Man, the game is faster and it's smaller. It's a 60-yard field, 30 yards width, 60 yards long. The game is so much faster than an outdoor game.
Quicker snaps, everything, or what?
Everything. This shit is like a back and forth. Like that's why it's a high scoring game. You seeing like 50 to 40 or 60 to 70.
Dog, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a fast paced, high score game.
Yeah, yeah. So your 3 years there, man. What was some of like the highlight stats that you had, playing arena football?
Man, it was I had some great
15
highlights.
catches, 600 yards.
Man, I had some great my my third year prior to me signing to the NFL, I was I was killing it. Like I had like 3 games where I had 5 touchdowns and like 100 and over 100 yards without that many catches, like 7, 8 catches. Like I'm cribbing that shit, or going to get that shit. Like yeah, it's a fast paced game. It's easy too. Like for me, it came easy.
Yeah, that's dope. So the good thing is you played in arena football and you learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? And again, Baba, you stay focused, bro. It wasn't like you like, man, pouting, basically bitching, I was supposed to be here. I was but again, your approach, dude, and you had, dude, your 3 years there, man, you did your thing. Your stats were good. And then how after that third season there though, right? How did you get a workout with the Kansas City Chiefs, or did they call you up? Like, how did that go about?
Man, shout out to my agent, man. Like the numbers that I was putting up in arena, he really stayed consistent and persistent with calling teams. You know what I'm saying? Like Kansas City, he paid attention to the needs of teams. So at the time, Kansas City, they needed receivers. Miami needed receiver. New England needed receivers, and then Seattle, we made sure we kept in contact with them because they were interested in me coming out of college. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of teams that needed receiver, he just really just did really good job staying persistent with calling the GMs, calling the team. So I want to say he called about 50 times before they actually was like, you know what, let's fly him in and get him a workout.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you go to your workout and you smash it.
Man, it was crazy. I was anointed that day, man. Like I just knew I was gonna have a good day because I flying into Kansas City because I left California because I was in season in California Arena. And it's crazy. God is so good. It's crazy because at the time I was recovering from a hamstring injury. I was recovering from I had broke my big toe. I had a fracture, micro fracture in my big toe. So I was just getting healed from that, and I get the call from Kansas City. I had a week really to kind of prepare to go out there to do the things that they wanted me to do. So I had a week to train for my 40 and my L drill and all like the pro day stuff. But luckily I'm in season, so I'm in shape. So getting on a plane, I ended up meeting this Kansas City couple. And I told them I was going out there, and they claimed it for me. Like they prayed and they claimed it for me. I already was feeling like that, but just to hear this Caucasian family, proclaim this for me, manifest this for me, I was like, I have no choice but to make this team. I'm gonna go out here and perform my absolute best because I have anointing and I have God with me. And I balled out, bro. I ran a 4.43 in my 40. I broad jumped like 11.2. My L drill was a 3.7. Like I had good numbers. 225, I did that 22 times. Yeah, like I was destined. I was determined to make that damn team. For
No,
real.
hold on, Baba. 225, 22 times?
22 times, bro. I was a lot bigger than what I am now.
Man, come on. You was gonna have to spot me back in my prime, dog. Come on, man. Yeah. Yeah. So you ball out. Your agent going to bat for you. Let me give him a shout out too. Your agent going to bat for you. You get the call from Kansas. You go there. Shout out to the Caucasian family too, man. They threw their love in there.
They threw their blessings on that, yeah.
Yeah, you claim it. And then you go there, ball out. Bear with me now. You go there, ball out. And now you make it on the team. How you feeling, dog? We inner city kids from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, dog. South Division. Supposed to go Division 1. Played Division 2. Ripped it. Now you in the NFL. How you feeling, man? How your parents, how your family, how your brother, how everybody feeling, man?
Bro, they play this mind game with me though. Like I didn't even know I was signed, bro. Cause it was 10 of us. It was 10 of us that came. Well, it wasn't 10. It was 6 of us that came because it was a private workout. It was 6 of us. And like, we all go through the workout and they ain't saying nothing. They just told certain people to get their clothes and go home. Like we'll have your ticket ready for you the next day. So they ain't saying nothing the whole time. So we go get fitted for the helmet. We go get fitted for me and this other guy, Wes, white boy. we go get fitted and shit. I'm like, I'm still not knowing what's going on, bro. So finally we get all our equipment. Then they take us upstairs where we go sign. And as we walking upstairs, I'm like, so this mean I made the team? He's like, yeah, bro, we gonna sign you to practice squad. You made the team. Bro, I fucking cried, bro.
Dog.
I stopped, bro. I stopped. I'm like, are you saying I'm a Kansas City Chief? Like, yeah, bro, you made the practice squad. You on the NFL roster. Bro, I cried for like 30 minutes before I even told anybody. Just tears of joy. Like, I made it. I
NFL,
made
bro.
it.
Dog.
Yeah, I made it. I called my mom. She was like, you lying. I had showed her the contract, showed her my locker, showed her everything. Everybody just started crying. My mama just told, it was like a domino effect. My mom just told everybody, you know how mama is.
Now I do want to ask you this though, because I know how close you and your brother, are, whatever. How did that make him feel when he found out?
Man, he was proud of me. He was proud of me, man. Like he believed in me. Um, he just always had my back. He's always been supportive. Like he never expected, anything from it. He always knew that I can make it, and he always wanted me to be happy. You know what I mean? So he was a big support, man. Like he was so proud of me because he seen the hard work that I put in, and he just knew I was just destined to make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's dope, bro. Big bro, he always been cool, man. Y'all damn near twins too. But so, so you cry for 30 minutes before you even call anybody. What's how your agent feeling? What's that conversation like when y'all talk to each other?
He's proud of me. He's proud of me because I he did his part, and it was time for me to do my part. So now that I did my part, it was just all about just establishing myself, just continuing to get better to make an active roster. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like now you in the door. Just continue to get better, continue to just be grateful for the position that you're in.
yeah. Yeah. And I know making that practice squad, you worked very, very hard. And I know y'all jersey numbers can get called at any moment, right? Just in case, injuries
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot happen. And I do remember, when you were playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Correct me if I'm wrong though. I believe you and Dwayne Bowe had a real good relationship, right?
Man, that's my big bro, man. To this day, we keep in contact. Yeah, he played a big part in me actually making it, like making it as far as I did because you don't realize the mindset and the mental game, the mental discipline that you have to have being a professional athlete. So at the time, they was playing a lot of mind games with me. I felt like because um, as a football player wise, I'm performing. I'm performing. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. But they telling me in practice and film that I'm not. Like I'm on thin ice from getting cut and shit like that. But I guess they doing that just to see how mentally strong you are at this level.
Mm,
So um they didn't tell me I was gonna make practice squad until the final day, of preseason. You know what I'm saying? Of everything. Like they don't tell you nothing. Like you just gotta be prepared for whatever.
yeah. Wow. Because I know I read up. Yeah, you got a touchdown. Was against the Arizona Cardinals in preseason?
And
Or
I led the whole team. I led the whole team and caught yards, catches, and touchdowns. Remind you, prior that year, that whole season, a receiver didn't score a touchdown. The whole season, not one receiver.
regular season?
Regular season, and even in the preseason, nobody scored a touchdown until I I got in the game. Like I was the first receiver in 2013 to score a touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's out of everybody on the team.
Wow.
I had a touchdown in every game that I played in. And it was only 3.
Okay, so you scored that touchdown. You scored that touchdown in preseason. And you know, whenever you play in the practice squad, what's going through your head that you like, why am I not getting called up? Are you because I know you're going to practice working hard every time you go. But when you not get that call up to be on the actual active roster to play, during the regular season, what's going through your head though, Baba? Are you like, what the fuck going on? Like,
Yeah. At the time, well, it's some events that happened that kind of prevented me from really staying in the NFL. But I'll let you know. We gonna get to that. Before I made my decision or made a mistake that I made, I didn't understand why I didn't get signed to an active roster. I didn't understand why I wasn't hearing no phone calls because I balled the fuck out preseason. You know what I'm saying? And that's what preseason is for. You ball out with the team that you with. If they don't want you, other teams have the opportunity to get you. So I don't know. I don't know why I didn't get picked up like after preseason because Kansas City signed me the last day to sign players to a team. So the first 2 days after the final roster was made, um, there was a window for teams to really pick up players off practice squad.
wow.
And my thing is, I think they was telling teams that they was going to sign me on practice squad anyways. So that's why I felt like I ain't hear from teams because Kansas City was planning on keeping me.
Yeah, see, looking when I was looking at when I was looking at some of your information when it came to you being in the NFL, I was seeing like practice squad release, practice squad release. What is this NFL stuff about, bro? I don't really know like the ins and out of this, but do you think they were doing something to mess with your head? Because I'm telling you, bro, unless they got that wrong, what I searched and looked up, I seen sign with the practice squad, release this such and such, and then sign, and it was all with Kansas City. So what you think all this was about though, Bamba?
Man, it's tactics, man. Like they do when you want to keep a player that you really don't want to pay. You know what I'm saying? More than what you have to. That's what they did. Like before I had made my mistake for them to really kind of treat me as disposable. That's what they was doing. Like they would take my name off of practice squad and put it on active roster, but I'm still on practice squad. But they'll take my name and they'll put it on active roster, so no other team can look at me. Nobody can pick me up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I didn't help my situation out by um me getting into the drug policy, entering into the drug program
Okay.
for substance abuse.
Okay.
So that's the reason why, truth be told, that's the reason why I'm not in the league now,
Oh,
because of my decision to use drugs.
okay. And man, we all go through shit in life. We all know this. But something that you work for so long, Baba, for so long. And granted, NFL is the highest, level, and you still play after the NFL, and made some good money. But with you not being at the highest level, how was your mindset? Did you break down mentally? Do you feel like you was a failure? Did you learn from your mistakes?
It's about being disciplined. When you want to be successful in anything, you gotta have the discipline. There is no excuse. You can't complain, or you can't come up with excuses for you to not be successful in what you're trying to do. And I was trying to be something that I wasn't ready to be, or that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to act like I made it when I ain't even established myself. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? The league. So, um, a lot of that stuff I had to learn and do on my own. Like, I didn't have nobody with me as I'm going through everything that I'm going through. I ain't had nobody to hold my hand or tell me, no, hey, don't do that, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that until I got into the league. You know
mm,
what I mean? And
yeah.
yeah, and it was only so much that the players in the NFL can do. It's only so much they can do because they under the radar too. They under scrutiny too. So,
Hmm.
a lot of stuff that I had to learn on my own, man.
Yeah. Shit. Football is so cutthroat, bro.
It is.
Football is very, very cutthroat, man. Just, man, bro. It just, y'all put your bodies on the line. Y'all do, man, if I ain't mistaken, bro, y'all probably got like the most intense training out of any sport to me. Soccer, baseball. Like y'all, I don't know, y'all conditioning different, y'all weightlifting is different. And for y'all to just be such a grind, man. Football can just be so cutthroat, man. And then just how many guys can be on the roster fighting for how many people on the players on the field? And it's like 11 or something.
Position wise, you have 11 players on the field at a time.
That's
And
what I'm
then you
saying.
got the mental part of it too, like the
Yeah.
contact. Like, people don't realize, like, that CTE,
Mm-hmm.
that shit is real, man. That shit is real. Like, when I decided to retire from football, like, you feel different.
Mm-hmm.
You feel different. Like, you because you're so used to, you programmed to being able to take out your aggression, and now you got to do it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be trauma to people after football. You know what I'm saying? If they don't know how to process it, deal with it, they don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. So I don't know how many years back, but I know that a lot of NFL players and a lot of football players in general was really complaining about the cushion that's in the helmets. Is that something that you guys should be complaining? Do you feel like they cherish your head by making these helmets or?
I mean, if you really want to get technical, like, our brains just not meant to be banging against our skull, period. So, yes, we need to be aware of the headgear so we can continue to play the sport. Um, but the shit, it's more of the coaching. and the intensity of the things that you got to do. Like, you know how many people play through concussions, not even knowing they had a concussion? You know what I'm saying? Like, because of the fear of being cut from the team. I know for sure I done played through plenty concussions out of that fear alone. So I just really feel like people just gotta respect the impact and the integrity of the game. Like, you can't you gotta be mentally strong to really play football. Like, you gotta have discipline to play football. You really do.
Yeah. Now, whew, yeah, man, that's some rough shit, man. But far as contracts, would y'all laying y'all body on the line, CTE, after football, just so much. Do you believe that's why NFL and other professional contracts are, because I feel like y'all contracts should be better. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do you think it's like that because you can get injured? Like, is it because you get injured quicker or something? I don't know. Like, why are the contracts the way they are, bro?
The owners, they greedy, man. They the structure, they will lose money when they won't. They feel like they will lose money and it's a power thing. Like, our contracts are should be more guaranteed than any other sport because of the contact sport. But it's basically the structure of how the owners want their money coming in because they won't lose money. There's no way this is one of the highest paid sports in America. You know what I'm saying? They won't lose money, but it's just think about all the players they would have to pay guaranteed, like NBA and baseball.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. That's some crazy shit, man. That's crazy. So you just to go back just a tad bit. So you go to once the NFL doesn't work out, do you go back to indoor football, or what do you do after the NFL doesn't work out for you?
I go to Canada. I end up going to Canada for a camp. I ended up going to Winnipeg, the Blue Bombers. I ended up getting the invite to their camp. They actually still own my rights if I would have ever um, go back to play in the CFL. So I went there. No, wait a minute. Let me rewind. I finished there.
Okay.
So after I get released from the Chiefs, I end up going to Arizona.
The Rattlers.
The Rattlers, yeah, playing for the arena team in Arizona.
You liked this vibe though out here, right?
Yeah, I loved it, man. I loved it, but I had off. I actually, if I didn't have my off-field issues going, I'd have been comfortable making a living in the arena because I made a nice piece of change. If you play with certain teams, like the Arizona team, it's a big team, a big powerhouse team. So they pay their players. And then the California, the SaberTech teams that I played for, they were a powerhouse. So they pay their players. So if you play for the right team, you can make a nice living in arena football.
Yeah. And you made a nice
People, so
living.
if y'all listening, people, don't count out arena. Arena one. It's different levels, but arena you can make a nice living.
Yeah. Now, what is I know it's NFL, and then what's under? Is it the Canadian League or
Yeah, they got the this new upcoming league, the USFL.
okay.
They got that now, and then I hear they bringing the XFL back.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So
Because you know how it's NBA, then it's G League, and then
right,
overseas, the top league. So
obviously, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same. It's the same far as like the top leagues overseas. How the whole top there's so many leagues overseas. That's how it is in arena. They have like Arena One, and then they have the IFL, then Arena Two, and then that's it after that.
Yeah, okay. So you was playing in the arena.
Arena, the top tier. Yeah, the real deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's dope, man. Man. And you and like I said, man, you had you got a wonderful career, dude. For real. You really do, man. I wish I would have seen you, actively on a NFL roster, but like I said, man, where we from, you made it to the NFL. You did shit. You know what I'm saying? And uh, what the hell was I about to ask? Sorry. um, oh yeah, so you had a wonderful career, after, playing for the Kansas City Chiefs and whatnot. And you ended, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you ended your football career kind of early. Was it 2017?
Correct. Um, I had some off the field issues I had to deal with. Like it was too much for me um to continue to play football or deal with my personal life. So I made the what I felt at the time the best decision was to focus on my family and my wife at the time and who was now my ex-wife. So yeah, I had that going on. Then I ended up getting a divorce. So that was too much to deal with
Mm,
dealing with my divorce and continuing to play football.
yeah, 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 exactly. So, well, first of all, sorry about, you going through that divorce. I know that can be difficult, especially when kids involved. So, uh, man, you're a strong black man. So, like I said, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. So, now, so you retired from playing football, but now you into coaching. You just recently got a job at MAS, right? Correct?
Yeah, I'm working with the offense and the wide receivers. I'm
Mm-hmm.
over at MAS now. Finally, because they've been they've been the coach Serge. He's been asking me since he found that I was done playing football to join his staff. But I had to take some time and really um, make peace with football. Because after I got done, once I decided to stop playing, and once I finally got the divorce final, I had to kind of take some time and just accept what my football career was,
Mm-hmm.
and then moving on to the next chapter in my life. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm just taking it one day at a time and just putting God first.
Yeah, yeah, man. But look, when you put God first, look what happened. You receive a job at MAS,
Yeah,
Milwaukee Academy of Science, right? And now all the tools and the things that you learned along the way, now you about to pass it down to these young kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's more than being just a football coach. You're a mentor. I always tell people that coaching is just not just coaching. You want these kids to be the best student athlete as possible, and you a mentor. And you
life
know,
coach. Yeah.
yeah, and you can these kids can relate to you. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm really, really glad, bro, that you still figuring out. I know you in a much better space right now. And being around a gang is, giving you another outlet. You had kids of your own that definitely look up to you. And the things that you guys starting off the season at MAS, good. And I want y'all to continue to have a good season. Start off strong, finish off strong. And they got a great guy, man, great mentor, man. It's my brother right here, Fred Williams, aka Bonbon. I appreciate you so much, dog, coming to the Barcode Podcast, bro. For real. I mean that.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I'm blessed and honored too, man. And also, kids, I am the sports recreational manager at the Boys and Girls Club. Come and mess with me, man. We got a league, basketball league for 7th and 8th grade. About to start up here in September. September 13th is when the league starts, man. So if you got some kids, from the ages 4 all the way up to 18, man, bring them to the Boys and Girls Club. I'm doing some fitness training. I'm doing all the jewels that I have. Just come and get them, man. That's where I'm at.
Yes, sir. Hey, and I have it in the description. And everybody tuning in, if you got kids, make sure you pass this information down. If you don't know Mr. Fred Williams, aka Bonbon, man, I'm telling you, sign up, meet him. Wonderful guy. I've been knowing this guy, man, since we were kids. And dude, you dope, man. And I'm always be there for you, bro. One phone call away, text, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm holding you too, coming to Arizona, man, too, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely got to come out there to my old stomping grounds, man. Come out there, get some of that AZ weather, that
Yeah,
dry
man.
heat.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, but bro, before I let you go though, if I gotta ask a question. If you can change one thing as far as the decision you made along the way, what would it be? What's one thing that you would change?
Um, Self-discipline, man. I believe if I wouldn't have went out and got stopped at that checkpoint, I'll still be playing right now. Because me stopping at the checkpoint and getting in trouble made me make another bad decision by using drugs to deal with one bad decision I had already made. So that will be it. Listen to the coaches and not going out. Self-discipline. Shit.
Yeah, man. I thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your story, taking us on your journey. I don't know shit about football, but I learned a lot though. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you so much, bro. For real, bro. I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not just for coming on to the show, but I love you in general, and you know that, bro. So, man, I appreciate that, man, and coming to the Barcode Podcast, bro.
Man, absolutely. Hey, shout out to Q Bar and the whole barcode movement, man. Appreciate you for recognizing your fellow brothers and giving us our flowers. I wish nothing but blessings and big doors, huge doors opening up for you, bro. Like you bless, you're a king in my eyes, and I truly love you for this. This is I'm super grateful and appreciative of this whole opportunity, bro. So thank you, bro.
Man,